adding a rear carrier on your E-Tricycle or E-Quadcycle. Recently, a relative of mine ended up needing a wheelchair for the time being, and one problem I encountered is how to carry it on my E-Quadcycle or E-Quad. It didn't have a roof rack like some E-Quads have, and even though the wheelchair was only small or a micro version, it still wouldn't fit in the rear seat if there is a passenger sitting there. I tried looking for ways to alternatively carry it on my vehicle at the electronic commerce or e-commerce sites, but couldn't find one suitable way enough to carry a wheelchair. Finally, I decided that I would have to try to improvise one based on what's available. I started with a bicycle carrier that is designed for cars, so I bought one first to study how I was going to adapt it to do the job. I had to be careful though to find one that will fit the micro wheelchair, and the gap between the poles was critical. I measured the gap on the wheelchair where I could hang it, and then looked for a bicycle carrier whose gap between the poles will fit it, and I found one. I ordered it, and when it arrived, I was able to hook it onto the rear spare wheel of my E-Quad. But then I found out that there was another problem, and that was that the straps were made to hook onto the gaps of the flat surfaces of the rear of a car. But I am not able to do that with the E-Quad because there were no such gaps on it to hook onto. I tried just tying the straps around the frames of my E-Quad, but I thought it was too risky. The straps might get untied while traveling. After some thought, I finally decided to get wraparound straps from the e-commerce sites, of which they were readily available. Using these, I was able to come up with a more secure way to attach or strap the bicycle carrier on my E-Quad. I did have to get an additional long cross strap though to keep the wheelchair in place and keep it from moving too much during travel. If you want to experiment on your own, you can do a similar setup for your E-Tricycle or E-Quad also if you want.